Hey, Grow Squad. Welcome to episode 50. Yeah, no, episode 50. No, I'm not playing with you. This is this is episode 50. And check this out. For my day ones, thank you so much for journeying with me. Man, this has not been the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Right? I promise you, 50. Check this out. This will take it even higher. 50 solo episodes. Yeah. In fact, when I first began my podcast journey, people would tell me all the time, man, you ain't going to last being no solo podcast. I said, you know what? My goal is to get my audience to fall in love with me first before I bring somebody on, right? In fact, I hope my wife hears this. In a few weeks, we probably going to do my first guest episode, and it'll be my wife. Yeah, baby. I put you on notice already. But listen, thank you all. And thank you, baby, for your support as well. I just want to throw that in there right quick. But thank you all for journeying with me for 50 episodes. And, my mind was to give you 50 things I've learned. But I don't know if I've learned 50 things just yet. Right. But I will give you today some insight as to what has taken place over the course of these 50 episodes. Some things I have learned and some things I have yet to learn. So let's get right into it. God, thank you for today. I pray that you would bless my friend wherever they might be. Thank you so much for their attention in this moment. I'm praying that they would know, even if they're having a hard time or a difficult day, may they always know that you're with them every step of the way. Amen. Check it out. Today, I want to talk about, in the midst of celebrating 50, not 50 years of age, 50 episodes. All right. Don't rush me. I'll be 50 soon enough. But overcoming rejection. And when I say rejection, check this out. There's something I believe, there's no studies around this. Maybe I should do it myself. But there's something to be said about overcoming rejection that you project on yourself. Yeah. There's something to be said about overcoming premature rejection. In fact, I just posted something not long ago that talked about the fact that was it 85% of the things that we worry about don't even happen. Right? Sometimes we send ourselves to the hospital, develop ulcers, develop high blood pressure because we're stressing about stuff that's not even going to happen. And one of the things that happened for me as I picked up this microphone. Now, for those of you that know me, I've had a microphone in my hand for the majority of my life in different capacities, right? But a podcast is a different kind of beast. In fact, you all know that when I was in the traditional church work, right, I had people in the audience saying amen. I had people in the audience saying that's trash. No, I'm just playing. But I had people that I could look at, right, that gave me some kind of nod or some kind of assurance or not that what I was saying was hitting or not hitting, that it was landing or was not landing, right? But for a podcast, especially a solo podcast, it's just me and my engineer, right? And oftentimes the engineer is busy working, doing their thing. They can't give me any feedback in real time. And so it's been a journey, been a battle with me. A battle, a one-on-one. There's a shirt sometimes where y'all know I like shirts with different sayings on them. But I have the shirt I wear that says me versus me. Right? Oftentimes, when I think about a solo podcast, it's me versus me. And it's me versus me in the context of it's my real self showing up, making sure that I stamp out and overcome the part of me that wants to look at the strong part of me and tell me I can't do what I know I've been called to do. And sometimes in life, as I believe you were born with purpose, as I believe and I know full well that you were born with something in this world that only you can do the way you do it. Now, let's be honest. There are a lot of people that podcast. Podcasting is, everybody got one now, right? But if there's something that you have a burden to do, know that oftentimes you sell yourself short because while somebody can talk about the same topic, somebody can reach the same audience, they can't do it like you do it. You are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. We don't have the same two fingerprints. Identical twins don't have the same DNA. Listen, you are unique. And each time I pick up this microphone, each time we go live, I have to remind myself, Eugene, there is something that you have to say. Somebody else may have said it, and somebody else did say it. There's nothing new under the sun, but they didn't say it or connect it the way that you were born to say and connect it. So we think about this journey of overcoming doubt, overcoming fear, overcoming negative self-talk, saying to myself, and I got to go back to my wife, man. My wife believes in me. Sometimes it's scary. I'm like, you believe I can do that? You have that much faith in me? You believe that I can accomplish that? Oh, wow. I didn't know. And it's not like I came from a household that people didn't believe in me. Yeah. But I guess it hits different when you're a grown man and you got people in your corner saying, go get it. This podcast world, they haven't seen you yet. Right? So think about this you're with me for this 50th episode, and thank you for being here. But I want to make sure I give value, right? I don't want to just celebrate me. Because when I started this journey, and as I continue this journey, it's not about me. Yes, I've had episodes that I've shared things about myself, but guess what? I've only shared things that I hope will be of benefit to you, or you've learned a lesson from something I've shared about me. Not to brag, not for me to boast about anything, but I share life experiences. I share things that I've gone through, overcome, or am still going through, hoping that it could benefit those that are listening, those that are internalizing my message, those that are hearing episodes week after week, because in order for you and for me to reach our fullest potential, the first thing I had to do with this podcast, and which I'm still doing, is reframe your mindset. Reframe your thinking about you. Have you ever looked in the mirror before and said to yourself, ugh? Yeah, have you ever done that before? Ever looked in the mirror and said things about yourself that were unkind? Things about yourself that actually are not true? But to make yourself, I don't know, feel some kind of pity for yourself, you've said some stuff about yourself that, yeah, that's not nice. Have you ever said to yourself, in fact, many of us, forget the outside world, if you overcome your own rejection and learn how to embrace who you are, learn how to embrace your unique gifts and talents. I can't think of the lady's name. Oh man, I can't think of her name. When it comes to mind, I promise you, I'll let you know who it is. Maybe on the next episode. Oh man. In fact, while I'm talking, I'm gonna try to look her up. But she said something the other day that blew my mind. She was a guest on a podcast, and yes, I am looking it up in real time. She was a guest on a podcast, and Shelby Clement. Yeah, Shelby Clement. She does this marketing. She has a marketing company. And she does these huge events where she brings in speakers and does all kinds of things, wonderful things. She's from my home state. She's from Covington, Louisiana, actually. But she talked about the fact that we sell ourselves short when you don't put out a message or a podcast because you don't have a haircut. You got other issues. You don't want to give somebody a positive message that you were born to give them because your nails aren't done today. You don't want to get on the camera. And listen, I am not judging you at all. I had to overcome that myself. Oh, you're not a certain weight and you look 20 pounds heavier on camera, and you're not going to give this message that you've been given to give to the world because of external challenges? Please. I'm not saying the external challenges are fake. I'm not saying that they are not real. I'm saying they should not stop you. Rewind that. I'll say it again. I'm not saying the external challenges are not real. I'm not saying that you aren't overweight. You very well, I'm overweight. All right? I'm not saying that your hair isn't cut. Those things might be real. I'm not saying you don't have hangnail. Right? I'm not saying those things aren't a reality. They very well may be your reality, but what also is your reality is the purpose for which you were born. All those things I just mentioned, you may be struggling. Listen, you may be going through your own. Have you ever? This is the wildest thing for me, that I've been prompted to give a message about something I haven't even overcome yet. I've been prompted to give people hope about stuff that I'm like, man, listen. I remember one time I was talking to a group of guys. I told you all last episode. If you didn't hear it, go back to episode 49. But I grew up when I was born. And shout out, man, my dad, like my dad is that dude, right? But my biological father was not around, right, when I was born. And one of the things that really is interesting, because I meet a lot of young black men, black boys in my work across this country who are fatherless. A lot of them. I mean, I'm talking about hundreds every year, right? And I look at them as they're sitting in the bleachers while I'm giving an assembly speech, or in a classroom as I'm doing a classroom demonstration, or whatever the case might be, and I see myself. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why I've been placed in front of these young men who were struggling with what I was also struggling with, and that was pain from the absence, even though I had my pops with me. I love him to death, but the pain also of my biological father don't want to be a part of my life. That's a trip. And me having a son now, I'm saying to myself, ain't no way in the world. For me, I can't fathom it. I don't know circumstances. I don't, no people have adult issues. I get all that. I understand that. Trust me. But she ain't gonna stop me from connecting with my boy. And I said to myself, man, why do I feel compelled to tell these boys to do something I haven't done yet? And it finally hit me. I mean, I was asking these boys to forgive their absent fathers, and I'm 40-something years old, and I hadn't forgiven my absent father. And sometimes, and I'm getting back on track in a minute, journey with me for a minute. I had to ask myself, I had to come to the realization, I should say, that I was compelled to give these young men that message over and over again, because it was not only prompting them, but it was reminding me that I need to do what I'm telling them to do. It was reminding me of this reality that, hey, the same medicine you're giving them, you need to take it for yourself because you're still sick. And it works that way sometimes. It blows my mind sometimes how I'm compelled to tell somebody to do something, and I'm like, oh, unless you want to feel like a fraud, go do it yourself. And that young lady, Shelby Clement, and she was talking on that podcast episode to one of my favorite speakers in the world, Trent Shelton. And she was talking about, why don't you post that messy bun picture? I mean, you want to wait till you put the hairpiece in, the lashes on, but people know that's not the real you. Why don't you post the one where you've been crying all morning and, and you've got snot coming out your nose? People can actually more relate to that, right, than the picture with all the makeup on. People can better relate to, I'm not saying that you should stay overweight. I'm not saying it at all. But it's funny how on that journey, you don't want to document that, forgetting that people can actually identify better with that struggle than, the six-pack you. You want to get the six-pack, right? But first you got the beer belly to deal with, right? And you forget that people actually want to come along with you, right, on that journey, but you want to show the pristine, sanitized version. And on this podcast journey, man, have I had some hiccups. 50 episodes, man, have I had some episodes I've come in here half tired. I would say 40% of the time, I actually didn't want to be on camera. But I made a commitment that there's somebody on the other side of this camera, there's somebody on the other side of this speaker, there's somebody on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, there's somebody listening or viewing that needs to hear the message I've been given to deliver. So I had to overcome me. There's a book a gentleman wrote, and I can't recommend the book because I never read it, right? So the title just stood out to me. It was called World War Me. I don't know why I never read it. It's been about 20 years since I saw that title. I can't tell you why I didn't read the book, but I never read the book, so I'm not endorsing or I'm not saying anything negative or bad about it, or negative or positive about it. I don't know. But the title stuck out. Because every day I wake up, it's World War Me. It's me versus me. I'm battling the person I'm looking at in the mirror. I'm just trying to become better than I was yesterday. And if there's something I've shared through these 50 episodes that have been of benefit to you, I'm inviting you to write down in the comments, man. Sometimes every now and again, you want to hear that, hey, man, maybe there's one sentence I said, one phrase, one word that has been of benefit to you, that has enlightened you, that has helped you along the way, right? I want to hear it. And that kind of reminds me of the fact that, hey, this thing is not in vain. So the first person to get to 50 episodes I had to overcome was myself. And the second thing I had to do, and I'm done, I'm not going to be as long as the other ones, I had to learn how to set realistic goals. You know, you first come out the gate, man, it's like, I'm gonna have 10,000 subscribers by the next month, and I'm gonna have all these listeners around the globe, right? And it's a real transparent moment. Sometimes you set these lofty goals, and then your work behind it doesn't match up. I got these lofty goals, and you don't want to sit down and write the proper thumbnail. You don't want to write the proper title. You don't want to not write the proper thumbnail. You don't want to pay the money to get the nice thumbnail done, or write the caption that's going to be captivating. Why are you going to get these followers, Eugene? How are you going to touch these lives, Eugene? If you don't do what it takes to let them know that, hey, I got something over here that could benefit you. If I don't take the time to sit down and be like, you know what? Let me take 20 minutes out of my day. I mean, we got all kind of opportunities now with technology to sit down, and they got these prompts for AI and chat. I mean, there's no excuse. I don't use those things, right, just yet, right, for certain things in my business and in my communication process. But what I'm saying is, you got to set realistic goals, and then set yourself up to go after them in a way that reflects that you're serious about that goal. How many of you want to lose weight? Yeah, me. Right? I'm not going to lose a pound a day. So that's silly for me to sit down and say, I mean, can I lose a pound a week? Probably. But a pound a day? Right? I don't even know if that's healthy. I think if you talk to, people who are in that space, nutritionists and so forth, I don't even know if a pound a day is healthy. But what I'm saying is, I can be realistic with myself and say to myself, okay, let me set this pace. I've got this goal. Let's go after it. So I didn't have a goal of 50 episodes. I actually didn't know where this thing was going to take me. But we're here. I'm grateful for it. And here's what you need to know, Grow Squad. The Grow Squad. I've got some new merch coming out real soon. In fact, I'll give you some insight. I've got this cool logo or cool graphic that was created. And it simply says, because you know our mantra is go, grow, glow, right? It simply says grow with the flow, right? In other words, in life, the stream flows different directions, right? Just grow with the flow. If you're going downhill, if you're going over rocks, if you're going through valleys, through everything in life, the whole message is grow with the flow, right? Sometimes the flow goes a different direction. You want to throw in the towel. No. We got to grow with the flow. We got to understand. So I've got some new merch coming out that reflects that. At this point in my journey, I think that's where I am. We still got our signature go, grow, glow. But at this juncture, I'm just asking God every day to help me to grow with the flow. Man, y'all been good. Thank you for your support, for your messages. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, drop some comments. If you're on audio, please share this thing out. There's somebody that I don't know that you know that needs to hear this message today. So thank you again. I'm looking for 50 more and beyond. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all go be great. See you next week. Peace.